Welcome to my show. I'm a guest here. Her name is Grace Grossman. Mrs. Grace, how are you doing, ma?
I'm doing well, thank you. How are you?
I'm fine. Thank you very much, Mrs. Grace. Firstly, you are an author. You are also into a lot of areas when it comes to yoga and also mentorship. Can you please, Mrs. Grace, discuss more about yourself and how you are doing currently now, Mrs. Grace?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, what I do is quite a mouthful because I'm a multidisciplinary, passion-led mentor in all the fields that I'm a kindergarten teacher, yoga teacher, well-being coach, and a self-help writer. So the base of all of that is my passion to help people find their love within for themselves and for others because we can rise together in harmony. That is really the end mission in helping people harmonize their lives because so many people suffer these days.
Definitely, I completely agree. There are a lot of ups and downs in our time today. The digital world has turned a lot of things in our time currently. And as a kindergarten person and also someone who loves children, I want to help a lot of people to solve those type of situation is very, very needed in our time today. And that is a very, very huge advantage. And I would also like to dive to your book, which is Chill Out, Mrs. Grace. There will definitely be something that definitely inspired someone in the first place to get to write a book or also even bring some experience that a lot of people could learn from in the life they've come for. So, what do you think really firstly inspired you to write the book, and why do you feel like it was very important to question those traditional ideas that were sold about happiness, Mrs. Grace?
Yes, that's a great question. And it was something that has always, since I was a teenager, questioned. And I always, let's say, wanted to go against what society told me to do with the standards of life, right? And so I already wrote my book when I was 21, quite young, people would say. But when people have read it that I'm not acquainted with, strangers, they think that I'm already this old wise woman. And it's so funny because now I'm like, wow, like you just said, experience is the master of wisdom. And unfortunately, at 21, I lost my best friend tragically to mental health issues. And that just like spurred me on way more to really tap into helping people become more happy. I don't want to say happy, but more fulfilled in life. Because I think a lot of the time, society tells us to study, work hard, to have a family, get married, all of these structures that have been laid out for us and what even success means, for example. And I was always like, hey, this isn't making people happy. This is making people go against their soul work. And it's something that I very truly, like early on in my life, noticed like this isn't the path that everyone is made for. Honor of my best friend, but also in honor of people that have taken their lives or can't handle mental health issues because of the society's pressure and setup of us, and how you can tap into your heart, how you can listen to your intuition, into your inner wisdom, God, and the higher goodness that I think a lot of us are distracted from these days and pulled down by power and by negative emotions. So that is where my book was really born and stemmed from, and it definitely led me into everything I do, yeah, to this day.
Oh, that is also very, very beautiful, Mrs. Grace. Firstly, my heart goes to your best friend. Definitely, there's always something that always trigger one to do a lot of things, and definitely it has helped you to, help a lot of people in this kind of situation. Definitely, there's norms. We used to call it in this place, we call it norms. You just have to pass through those steps, go to school and stuff like that. But definitely, there are also areas I want us to live is or ally because definitely it usually affects that person in one way or the other, and that's a very important thing that every single person absolutely have to be aware about in the life they've come for. We are in a digital world currently, Mrs. Grace, and we do have social media. We do have a lot of norms that we have in our time currently now. A lot of understanding has been different during the time we have it in the historic time, Mrs. Grace. So how do you think advertising, social media, and also cultural norms has also distorted our sense of what happiness should look like, Mrs. Grace, in your experience, ma'am?
Yeah, I mean, I agree with that totally. I think digitalization has distorted our figure of, you know, thinking for ourselves, let's say, because there's just so much noise out there. There's so much to digest. We, as humans, our brains are not made for this. Our brains, our bodies, our minds, our hearts are not made for all like this over consummation of information. It's overloading. And so, of course, I'm a believer that a mental crisis worldwide, let's just think about it, loneliness is a worldwide epidemic, mental crisis too. I really stand affirmed that it has to do with digitalization and social media because people are looking at these people thinking, oh, FOMO and I want that life and all of these feelings of jealousy, resentment, and, striving for perfection that doesn't even exist, like all of these things we want to edit ourselves and to perfect ourselves. And, I think I don't want to say it's all bad. Like, I think it's good that we're more connected. I wouldn't have met you, for example, online. I've met so many beautiful people from all around the world that I wouldn't have been able to meet if we weren't connected online. So I don't want to completely, trash it in that sense, but it's about the way, it's about the manner of how you use your digital media. Have we been taught that? No. Like, who has been taught in school, like, how to use social media safely, how to use the internet safely, how to now use AI safely? We're not taught this stuff. And in school, we're also not taught how to handle our emotions, right? There are so many things that are missing out of our curriculum. Social skills. So, like, no wonder everyone's suffering. And so, going back to your question, I think, like, of course, you can use social media for your benefit, but you really have to be careful. Like, you have to become more aware to take care, and you have to be disciplined. Because without discipline, you will just get lost into the majority of people's lives, which is scrolling and being on this standby mode. And that's when your soul really can drag you down and you feel sad, like empty. Yeah, that's where that hole comes from, right?
Yes, Mrs. Grace, I completely agree with you in this type of situation. This is a very big epidemic, as we said earlier, and definitely we are not taught how to use social media and all that media that we have today. It definitely just came around, and every single person are using it, and it has done a lot of great things, and definitely it has done a lot of worse
Yeah.
and worse things in the time that we are currently. And we just definitely hope that the grace just come out of it because to be honest with you, Mrs. Grace, when they were developing this thing during those times, their image was everybody are going to be connected. They never imagined that it would get to this type of point. So definitely, it's just how one can just manage it. And definitely, as you said, there is a very good idea. If such situation whereby social media, how to use social media and how to use AI is being taught in school is a very important thing that we need to be aware of so that we won't just misuse all these things that we have during the digital world. We shouldn't be oppressed by the people we see around us, and we shouldn't be oppressed by what we see in the social media. It's a very, very important area that we need to dive to in the coming future. And also, I would like to dive to daily habits, Mrs. Grace. There could be definitely some daily habits that you think someone can try to begin to have this negative thought, have this negative thought or belief when it comes to happiness. So, what do you think are some daily habits or mindset shifts that you think can help someone begin to untangle from the false narrative they've internalized when it comes to happiness, Mrs. Grace?
Yeah, that's a really common question I get from people. As a well-being coach and a yoga teacher, I really see people in their heads being controlled by their minds, where I think it's our minds are so powerful. They can either control us and make us stay in the comfort zone and confide us to being scared, to feeling, negative emotions like you just said, or you can tap into the power of your mind and make it work for you. So it's really about how you make it work for you and not against you, or like you also just said is very true, small steps. Start small. So start about becoming aware of how you're speaking to yourself, becoming aware of how you're judging people around you. Like, we're very confided in our society. Like, we look at someone and we already like internalize and interpret them, which is like, you want to be judgy. You want to be more accepting. So that also means more accepting and not judging your thoughts, but also others around you. And I think one vital factor of that is gratitude. Just telling yourself, like, whenever a negative emotion arises, like, what are you thankful for right now? Be it your family, be it friends, be it food, be it the place you're living in. You know, there is so much to be grateful for, but like just keep it simple. Like whatever you're feeling in this moment, you know, like right now I went on a hike today. So I'm so grateful that it didn't rain because the weather forecast said it would rain the whole day and then it didn't. And I was like, wow, it worked for us. You know, and that's such like maybe a small thing, but like also the little things really matter. You know, when you have your cup of tea in the morning and you can hear the birds, like it's finally attuning yourself to the present moment so that you can feel this higher energy, this higher vibration of love and gratitude. Switching it, yeah.
Yes, definitely. I definitely agree with you, Mrs. Grace. You're definitely lucky around that place. In this place, the rain was just falling since morning. I was even wondering what is going on because it hasn't happened this year. So it has been raining since morning. So it is very, very big luck in
Oh,
your place around that place. And also, I definitely agree with you when it comes to awareness. Awareness is very important. If you can have this awareness and also having this kind of thinking, because in the life that we are, we cannot just judge person. Even in my time, I have to be honest with you, Mrs. Grace, I do it that and one time in my life. When you just see someone, you just have the judgment and stuff like that. But that is not the case. With time, one has to just have to definitely understand. We have to definitely know the person, no matter how we see their appearance. We just have to have the sense of awareness. It's very important because most of the time, what we think might not even be true at all. It might not even be where its information is in the first place. So it's a very, very important thing that we need to do. Awareness and also having this mindset, and also the brain is very, very important for us to just know. This life is very important. The machine is a very, very important thing we need to work on and we need to develop. And that is one of the most important things that can drive us the happiness that we definitely need. We do know that this time that we are, internet is being dominated, and there is something that we call community during our historic time. So can you please, Mrs. Grace, talk about the importance of community and collective healing in a world that emphasizes individual achievements now in our time currently, Mrs. Grace?
yes, that is the missing key. It's really, I definitely feel that, like you just said, we live in an egoistic, individualistic society. No matter what country you're in, I think it's a worldwide issue. Let's face it. Everyone is just like looking out for themselves. And I think it's really in bad politics, worldwide too, and wars. And you just have to step back and think, wow, okay, what is missing? Connection. I mean, as I mentioned before, loneliness worldwide epidemic because of digitalization. I think it's like half of Americans now eat alone daily. Like I think a lot of us have like taken these, big parts of our daily lives. So like back then, you would sit around the table and all eat together, but we've taken that away to work, to make money, to be part of a society and all of this. But taking away that fundamental part of connection is soul destroying. Like we're human beings, like we must be with each other. We're not just human doings, right? Like, and I think it's the missing key to, like you said really well, collective healing is now needed more than ever. And when we heal together, it's like an enlightening, it's like a how I can kind of describe it when I'm with others that are like minded, more aware, like you say, more reflective, just wanting to work on themselves. Like that is the compulsory like first step, the awareness of wanting to work on yourself and then knowing that you can work on everything else in your life and with others. It just transforms, elevates your healing. Because if you think about it, like you receive a compliment from someone, it makes your day. Like it makes you so happy because we transcend intrinsically we need like this validation from others, but not just the validation for ourselves and our ego, but rather for the love, because the more you receive, the more you want to give. It's like the two-way, isn't it? It's like you give, you receive, you give, you receive. And somehow in our society, I don't know why, but with consumerism, with capitalism, we've stopped that, and it's all about consume, consume, consume. But let's get back to basics. Like, we want to be there for each other to also heal ourselves and others. Like, it's a two-way street, right? Like, I'm healing myself, and at the same time I'm going to share with you how, because then you can, and we can all together. I mean, that's also why I started my community Healing Hearts Hub this year, because it's been a massive like passion project, or like on my heart for a while, when coaching people in groups or leading meditation sessions and yoga sessions with a lot of people, and just noticing the energy. Like, the energy just shifts. Like, everyone is like more in harmony with one another, with themselves. And there's just a big power that I feel we're missing in our society again. That let's get back to basics. Let's be there for each other, be with one another, be for one another, not against each other. Like, it's sad that we are more against each other these days in conflict. And the more you are, the more in conflict you are with yourself. So just think about it. If you want to be in harmony with others, you're more in harmony with yourself, and you have a more happier life. There you go. Forgive, let go. Don't, you know what I mean? Like, all these grudges or whatever, like that hate, you want to get rid of it, and you want to invite healing and help one another. I mean, that's essentially also why you're here with your podcast, right? You want to help others, because that's a bigger meaning of your life, I'm sure, as well. It gives you a lot of motivation and determination, and that's beautiful. That's a beautiful energy that you can tap into.
Hmm. I definitely agree with you. That is the beauty of life. Self-centered life is just what we have in our time currently, and we definitely need to encourage people to have the sense of giving to others and showing this kind of care and love towards one another. That is the only way every single one of us can grow as one, as a community, and every single person can win. Because everybody are just self-centered, and everything is just, it's going to be more difficult. And definitely, I do not know how the future is going to look like if it continues like this. But we definitely need to encourage people to have this kind of care and love within each other, and to have this kind of communion that we could, share within each other. If one is doing something wrong, we could be able to tell the person you're doing something that is not right. And if someone is doing something right, you could give that kind of encouragement and assistance in what, when, where you, or where one can definitely do it. It's definitely good in our time, because the more I get, the more I will be able to give more. And that is the beauty of
Yeah.
this life that we are. And that is what we definitely needs to just, give this kind of energy as we need. It's definitely something we do need in our time currently. It is not easy this time that we are. I have to be honest with you, Mrs. Grace. It is a very, very tough time. I'm just alone in my house, and I do know how it is very, very tough in the life that we are currently. And also, lastly, Mrs. Grace, for the listeners who feel like they cannot just get to that point of happiness, they cannot just get to that point of courage, they can't get to that area or that growth mind area again, because everything is just too damaged. They feel like nothing can work anymore. So for listeners who feel like they're stuck in life, and they feel they don't feel like that, where do you think they can begin? And what do you think are the first courageous step they can take to begin their life again, Mrs. Grace?
Yeah, I first want to say it's not about getting somewhere. Like, that's also a very like toxic side to our society, that we've been taught to get to success, to get to this point in our lives where we've achieved everything, we feel great, we feel happy. You don't reach this state of also true healing and then you're done. No, like, it's continuous. I mean, everyone knows, everyone's been through bad experience and good experiences. Life is a roller coaster. It is really made of the ups and downs, and that's the beauty of it. So from that, I would say it's not about getting to the peak of the mountain, but it's rather about getting through the ups and downs. So how can you embrace your challenges as opportunities? How can you see your hard times as divine timing, and you will get through it? How can you really ride the waves of life better on a daily occasion, becoming more aware, like you were saying, of your surroundings, who you are, how you deal with things, becoming more reflective, curious, joyful, like gratitude, all of these little key factors that will help you ride the waves of life better so that you're not always in this struggle mode. You're not always stuck because the limit, that like that limited mindset where you just feel stuck all the time and you're in this kind of like real low vibration. And I've been there. I have been depressed. I get it. It is hard. But you have to become aware of the way you're talking to yourself. If you say it's hard, then it's already an emotional blockage. If you say this can be easy, you're already inviting in harmony and God is on your side. Like God is there for you. If you don't believe in God, God is within you. It's your love. But I believe in God, and God, his kingdom is within you, and he always wants to help you. And when I was depressed, I didn't feel like it. I felt like he'd given up on me. I felt like, like this was it, like great. But then I really started to notice maybe this is also just something I just have to ride through my life. Like I just said, life's a roller coaster. You have your low and your high times. So I thought, okay, one point I was like, maybe this is just I have to learn through it and I have to recalibrate who I am as a person and rediscover my love, rediscover self-worth. I mean, it all comes from loving yourself too, right? Like you have to accept yourself, you have to love yourself on a daily occasion. It's like a practice. So joy and happiness are practices. They're not just like things that you have to get to, like I want to be happy and then that's it. And you don't buy your way to happiness. You become more happy in the way that you ride your waves with more courage and with more flow and no force, and knowing that God is on your side, God is with you, right? Like I recently went through a breakup. And so instead of saying like, oh, why is this happening to me? I was like, this is happening for me. And that little shift has helped me now break through so many things like in my life. Just, when they say, right, when one door closes, a lot of doors open. It truly was that way because I became aware of care and I wanted it. It's the willingness. The willingness is within you, and you just have to kind of water that every day like you're a flower, right? And then you'll bloom and you'll blossom. But it doesn't mean that you're going to be like that every day. Like it's a daily gesture of just watering yourself with grace, with gratitude, with love, and always knowing that God is for you and with you. That has really helped me. I don't know about you, like if that's a big factor in your life, that you can really connect to the high divine intelligence within when you want things to work for you. So it's a matter of will, I would say.
Hmm, I definitely agree with you, Mrs. Grace. You've definitely said every single thing one needs to know in the life they are. Definitely, I have to be honest with you because we have to have this positive belief with ourselves. It's not about getting there. It's just about just having the sense of will. Like
Yeah.
as I'm going, I
Yeah.
hope everything goes well. As I'm going, I just hope it just continue. And having that inner self, which is God, or having something one can definitely connect with, is definitely what has been working for me because that is the beauty of life. I just have to see how things are going, how it's moving, and continue to have this belief and this positivity. I can just continue to give myself every single day, and definitely the ideas and everything just continues to follow itself, and development starts to come in. And that is the beauty, and that's definitely people think it's just like magic, but that is just how this life is being programmed now. We just have to know how we could put through things, just continue to develop, not to look at the end point because the end point might not actually come by the end. This might not happen, but definitely just see how things are going through and continue to have this connection with the inner self and the God as one definitely is serving. Then definitely everything follows. Then every door will definitely open. And I'm very glad that it definitely works for you, and it definitely helps you through a lot of situations, and it motivates you to come back up as a person who is much stronger in the life he or she has come for. Mrs. Grace, there's a question I normally ask during the end of the show. From the forefathers, from the ancestors, there are a lot of beautiful things that do exist during our ancestral time that is missing in our time today. If there is anyone or anything you would like to bring back to our time today, Mrs. Grace, what do you think that thing will be, Mrs. Grace?
I would what we were mentioning before about community and re-earthing, regrounding ourselves in the beauty of being with people, not on their phones, pure presence, like without technology. You know, today I had a whole day without my phone. It was so amazing because we were in the forest and we didn't even have a connection. So you're like, okay, you're with people, and I think you have experienced it too, right? Like people are just glued to their phones. And I get it. We're in this technology phase of our society, and it is great in some ways. But what I would unearth again from our ancestors is that sitting around the fire together, like the true like presence of being with each other, singing together. The it also comes from church, and where you sing together, you praise the Lord, or you listen to, you're all with each other, right? It's like that whole collective energy. And I would say that's something that we've just lost over time, and we really crave and need right now more than anything, rather than being against each other and ignoring one another and just being on your phone the whole time. Be in your real life, like be part of what you are living, because it's a blessing that we're already here. So embrace the company of each other. I think for younger people more than ever, they probably don't really, it's scary, right? Because like the younger generations now start earlier with technology, and you think to yourself like, oh, what's going to happen, right? Like they don't know how to have conversations, they don't know how to read like gestures and stuff. So I really want to bring that back, like the just being together, like in real life, just like me and you now. Like we're obviously not in real life, but we have everything aside, we're present, we're fully present together. And I think that's beautiful, because conversations, storytelling will never fade out. They will always make us like truly happy, like this conversation is bringing us both real happiness. I'm sure someone listening to it too, like being fully present and like listening to people's stories, listening to people's experiences and what they think. That is the real learning in life. Like nothing can beat that. No school, no nothing. Like learning through and with others.
Yes, I definitely agree with you, Mrs. Grace. To be honest with you, we do know that that is the number one thing that we are definitely missing in our time today, having care and support within one another, community, which is very, very important in our time now. We do hope in the next future, because during my time when I was young, I do experience community. The ones that are now or are currently now, they are not really experiencing, where I do not know how it's going to be in the coming future, but we do expect the best, because if things are going this way, I do not know how to predict how the future will be, because we definitely need this kind of care and support within each other, so that when we get to the top in the coming future, we could definitely show that kind of care and support that we are having within each other when we have started in our life. So we definitely hope that technology brings more great things and more beautiful things that we are currently. But we do definitely need community. Community is something that we definitely need. We need this physical touching and connection to nature. Is the number one thing that we definitely
Yeah.
know that it has gone, and we definitely hope it comes back. Mrs. Grace, I also want to use this opportunity to sincerely thank you for the opportunity and the time you've given to me to speak on this important area when it comes to happiness and other areas that we definitely need that could thrive us and the life that we've come in this time currently. Thank you so much, Mrs. Grace.
It's been a pleasure speaking with you. I hope that you keep shining as well and spreading your message.
All right, Mrs. Grace. Have a wonderful day, Mrs. Grace. Bye bye.
Thank you. Bye.